How are you? I'm Neil Sullivan, your professor for PAF 9100, Introduction to Public Affairs. I thought I'd just touch base and kick over a few basic points for a short time this evening and just help make sure that we're squared away on where we are and what we're doing over the next class or two. So to begin with, I'm making this video for two sections of 9100. I haven't met either one of you yet. One of you meets on Mondays and the other one meets on Tuesdays. For next week, if you're in the Monday section, we're still not going to meet because of Labor Day. So if you're in the Monday section, the first time we'll meet is September 12th, the following Monday. If you're in the Tuesday section, I'll see you next Tuesday, the 6th. And you got to find the room. I didn't write that down. Both those meetings, next Tuesday, the following Monday, the 12th, both of those are the second meetings of the semester. So to be prepared, go to the syllabus and look at the assignments, the reading assignments for weeks 1 and 2. Make sure you carry that out, and then you're going to be all set. In week 3, if you're looking ahead, there's an essay due, and you'll get the topic in week 2. So Tuesday, you're going to get it this coming Tuesday, and it'll be due the following week. And Monday, you'll get it on the 12th, and it's due the following Monday. This is all a little bit maybe shaky, bobbing around on the water kind of thing. It's not all that unusual. Me and COVID was unusual, I'm happy to say. But at CUNY, we start before Labor Day. Labor Day shows up, some religious holidays up here, different times. Columbus Day is going to affect things. So we want to go week by week. I do not put dates down for all the class meetings because I always get something wrong. And now it's all written into a kind of cyber stone. And it just makes backing up and getting in the right direction more difficult. So you can certainly get the academic calendar off the website, compare it with the calendar you have hanging on your wall, and you can figure out the dates we're supposed to be meeting. And otherwise, we'll be going week by week, or I'll tell you what coming attractions are, and we'll be all right with that. So, checking my notes here. When you come to class, whether it's next Tuesday or the following Monday, you want to make sure you have read the first 10 Federalist papers, especially Federalist 10, and that you have read the Monk book, this one. The Monk book, you've read part 1, which covers pages 9 to 128. Now, let's talk about the Federalist Papers for a minute. I got to reset myself here. Federalist Papers were written late 1787 into 1788. 85 essays, a few of them written by John Jay, most of them written by Alexander Hamilton, and a great many of them written by James Madison. And most of what Madison tackled were, well, in terms of an overview anyway, probably the most important essays of these three authors. Federalist 10, you might have heard about. It's one of the most famous essays in American political letters. And if you have never read any of the Federalist Papers, or you're not all that familiar with this, you want to make sure you strap in. Federalist 10 is brilliant and also rather a mess. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to try to help you with that. There are some questions that we want to be able to answer about this essay. And the answers are provided in the essay explicitly. Problem is, I don't know who Jemmy's editor was, but it's as if you wrote the essay, it was cut up into pieces, put in a hat, tossed around a little bit, and then just pulled out one at a time, and that's the order. Well, that's not the way I want to see your essays written. So let's just keep in mind, Federalist Papers are halfway back to Shakespeare. So the syntax, the word order, the language, the construction of sentences, it's very different from what we would do today. So we're going to approach Federalist 10 and the first 9. Federalist 10, we're going to focus on that. This applies to all the others as well. We want to be able to answer some questions. Here are the questions I want you to puzzle out from Federalist 10. First of all, what does Madison mean by faction? Faction is the topic of the essay. Now, it means what we mean by an interest group, and in particular, it means what we mean by special interest group. When we say special interest group, that has a negative connotation. We don't talk about our being proud members of special interest group. It's always the other person who's a member of a special interest group. Something a little nefarious about it. So what does he mean by faction? Next up, what are the causes of faction? And again, he's going to give you a list. He's going to tell you these are the causes. And then what is what he calls, what the hell is it? The most common and durable cause of faction. Most common and durable. What's the most important reason why special interest groups develop? And he's going to lay it right out for you. Then you want to be able to answer, should we get rid of the causes of faction? The answer to that is no, and you want to know why it's no. And the last question, should we control for the effects of faction? And the answer to that is yes. You want to know why the answer is yes. And you want to know how we control for the effects. So what's faction? What are the causes? What's the most important cause? Do you get rid of the causes? Do you control for the effects? All that stuff is in those few pages. It's a short essay, but it's very dense. And by my lights, it's not organized very well. So you got to go in there and work with it. Now, you make a good faith effort. You get this essay, which you can get. All the Federalist Papers are available online. You don't have to purchase them or acquire them for yourself. They're Just punch in online Federalist Papers and you're going to be all set. Same with the Constitution. So you get them and you start reading it. You're going through 10 and you say, oh, I got my questions. I am so confused. I can't make heads or tails out of this thing. I'm going to flunk, certainly. Terrible things are going to happen. I've told everybody I'm going to graduate school, and then boom, first class, first week, punched out. That's not going to happen. We're going to go through this essay in class. What I want from you today, and until we see one another, I want you to make your best good faith effort. And if you come up, I want you to take notes on everything you're reading. And if you own the book, you can mark up the book. If you took the book out of the library, you really don't want to mark it up. If you bought a used book and it's marked up, I'd be a little careful. You know, the person who had the book might have pulled a D. So, you know, not sure you're getting a useful shortcut there. So you do your best. And then I'm going to do everything possible to meet you where you are, metaphysically, and help you get through this essay and the others. And I have every confidence we're going to be successful in that. Now, a couple other things. The Monk book, the other books, I've had some questions. Where do you get the books? Well, at one time, not that long ago, you go in a bookstore. They're all over the place. A lot of private independent bookstores. Very few are around anymore. So you can go online. You can go, Barnes & Noble has a website, Amazon, of course. There may be other websites. For the publisher of the books may have a website. If you look the book up online, there might be some information about how to acquire it. When I was in school, you just went to the bookstore and bought it. I don't even put books in the Baruch bookstore. They're wonderful people, but they boost the price of them up. I've been told it helps to pay for graduation. I have no idea. If you're looking for a reasonable alternative, you could check out an ebook, something that I guess would be something like Kindle. And if you have a Kindle or what do they call this thing, Nook, maybe something along those lines, you might be able to get the book at a more reasonable price. There are various secondary markets. I don't know the first thing about them except they exist. And this is where that discussion board on Blackboard can be useful, because I've checked previous classes and the students are just going back and forth. You know, anybody know where you can get this book? Oh yeah, you go to here, there, and the other place, and they get it and it cost $1 or whatever it was. So if you know about secondary sources, you could post on discussion board that you have some suggestions if people want it, and then people can go on there and say, yeah, I really need some help here, and go with there. When you come in on Tuesday or the following Monday, whatever it is, you want to have that material done from the Federalist Papers and from Monk's book, The Words We Live By. If wherever you're going to acquire Monk's book and the other books, if they tell you, for example, most immediately, if they tell you, well, we can get you that book in 2 months, you need to keep looking, because you need this book like a week ago. Now, if you can't get the book until the next few days, thereabouts, once again, are you late? Are you doomed? Are you this, that, and the other thing? No. You're going to have some catching up to do. And you make your very best effort. That's all I'm asking. You make your very best effort. And, my job, part of it anyway, is to make adjustments as needed. And there have been very few adjustments like the one in the middle of March in 2020 when we're sailing along, rounding second towards a final exam, and bang, we're done on the campus, where everything else is going to be online. And I had sensed something like that might happen. I was not totally unprepared, but it was a scramble. So we're not in anything like that now. But who knows? It is a mischievous virus. So get the books, read what's assigned, take notes, including questions that you have. If somebody said, I didn't get the book, I didn't understand the book. I said, what didn't you understand? I didn't understand anything. Well, you understood something. The more precise you can be about what you're struggling with, the easier it is for me to be useful in helping you clear out that patch of confusion. So read the syllabus, read it several times. Read the suggestions for the course, read that several times. If you have any questions, read it again. Syllabus, suggestions. If you still have questions, and if they can't wait until Tuesday or following Monday the 12th, then shoot me an email. Send it to my Gmail account at neilj.sullivan@gmail.com. NeilJSullivan. And I'll get back to you. Some of you may have sent me some stuff, and if I didn't get back to you, it's because I knew I was going to do this video. So I hope I have covered the questions you had. Somebody asked me about the essay that's due in week 3. That's not at bat right now. That'll be coming up, and we'll take care of it in plenty of time. There's undoubtedly something I've forgotten. Can't think of what it is, but that's because I forgot it, if it's there. If there's something all that vital, I'm going to send you an email, and we're going to do the best we can. I'm a flawed human being. I make mistakes, forget things, get mixed up about this and that. And then I'm accustomed to that. I just keep plowing ahead, and you get to where you want to be. And I expect all of you are flawed human beings. And how many times have people come to class? I read the wrong stuff. I thought we were doing this, and it turns out we're doing that. Well, that's not a hanging offense. We're going to have a little chuckle about it, and we're going to get squared away, and we're going to go on from there. Maybe you grew up in another country, and you think, I don't understand anything about American government. That's actually, in a lot of cases, it proves to be helpful, because there are people who grew up in this country, and they have some confusing ideas about American government. I'm not talking about, I don't like the people they vote for. If I can find that out, I have no interest in finding it out. They may just think that, I don't know, if a party gets control of Congress, that's it. The party's platform gets adopted and all. No. We're going to see this Madisonian system, this design that fragments power and organizes it against itself. We're going to see how intricate that is. We're going to see why we have this system that traces to values that dominated the 18th century in Western Europe and in America. We're going to go through that. We're going to see how we've adjusted to modern conditions, especially the rise of large corporations and their influence on economic and social issues. So it's just going to be a great exploration of things that interest us. The undergraduates, they have a tougher assignment in a lot of ways. You know, I could have an undergraduate who's taken this course, taking French, which personally I flunked as an undergraduate. They could be taking astronomy. They could be taking accounting. Some of them have 4 or 5 classes and they're working 50 hours a week. They got family stuff that will cause you to weep. But academically, they're spread all over the place. And you're focused. You were here to study public affairs. So I go through that, the very first part of the syllabus of what I understand our purpose to be. And I hope that's useful. I could go on because I'm a college professor, and we can go on. And some of it would be very helpful and on the point of matters that interest you, and some of it I'd just be rambling, telling stories. This and that, but that's how we are. I'm delighted to make contact with you. I appreciate your good wishes about my COVID dance. In baseball parlance, I'm off the injured list, but on a short pitch count. So I should honor my short pitch count and leave you to the rest of your evening or day whenever you're looking at this thing. And again, something compelling, let me know. Otherwise, relax, get into this stuff, have some fun, check it out, see if you like it. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Take care.